Welcome to the 8th edition of World Intellectual Property Forum.
Hello, it's my pleasure to be talking to you today about the subject IP advice for SMEs and startups. Before we go into the subject of what advice one should give SMEs and startups, we should try to define what they are and what is common among them. To make matters a little more interesting, in recent times SMEs are also has got another alphabet added to it, which makes them MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises, and then there are startups. Let's see what is the definition of an SME or MSMEs are. Invariably, they are defined in terms of the number of employees in the enterprise and the amount of annual turnover that they do, or both. When you come to startups, they also add, apart from these two that I already mentioned, they might also add the number of years it has been in existence after registration of the company. Let's also see why are these important and why there is a special interest in MSMEs, SMEs, MSMEs and startups, and why do we need to give a special advice on IP for these enterprises. A worldwide survey has revealed that SMEs and startups employ more number of employees than large enterprises. They also form a large percentage of business of a country. That means they produce a significant amount of the GDP of a country. They create new and interesting and large percentage of the jobs annually. SMEs are also supposed to be drivers of innovation and competition in many economic sectors. And of course, by definition, a startup is said to be something which is trying to change the game, as they say. Now, this is a kind of a definition of what these things are, but we must also find common ground where these enterprises need special IP advice. Why not the same advice as given to large enterprises? Let's take a look at this. Because the number of people that these enterprises employ is very small, quite often there is no definition of who does what work, who is responsible for what. A same person might be responsible or is expected to take care of more than one function which would be taken care of in large enterprises either by one person or even a whole department. For example, if you take research and development, SMEs and startup by definition are all research and development perhaps, whereas SMEs might have a small number of people or the technical brain behind it might be the one who is doing the technical development and all that. Now, they also have less business experience, and so they are more focused on doing the business. Their main idea is to drive business, and then IP might come, if at all, as a last priority for them. Startups might be bootstrapping, so they are cash strapped, and might also have, if we can use the term, they are also people strapped. That means they do not have enough number of people to take care of different kinds of activities in the company. Now, the differences between startups and SMEs, if we take a look, it is that in quite often SMEs are in established businesses, established technologies, so they are not really threatened by IP. Or the companies to which they supply as ancillary units are the original equipment manufacturer, OEMs to whom they supply might already give them the technology, and their job is mainly to produce and, if at all, make some improvements in what they are doing and supply to the OEMs. They might not really be focused on new technology, and hence they might not really be worried about or concerned about intellectual property rights. But on the other hand, a startup is, in a way of looking at it, is all IP. That means they are doing something new. It might not be patentable, it might not be protectable in any other fashion, but the IP plays a very important role in their operations and their outlook itself. For example, there is a general feeling that if a startup has a couple of patents to its name, its evaluation will go up. That means there are two things. One is, if there's a takeover, the value that they get for that would be very high or relatively high. And if they need funds and if they want investors, they would be interested in seeing how much IP that these people have, and the funding that they are ready to provide might be based on the amount of the number of IP rights that a company has. But with all this, we should notice that the new economy, which is also called quite often the knowledge economy, is driven by IP. It could be that you distinguish yourself from the rest of the crowd with your IP, or the IP owner is a threat to you because the IP owner can come and say that you are infringing my IP, which can even shut your shop down. So let's see what a company, SME or MSME and a startup must be aware of, what they should do to make sure that they don't get into any trouble, which is on the defensive side, and on the offensive side they distinguish themselves from the rest of their competitors, so that their value is higher and they also survive and they can grow further. So let's keep that as the background and see what advice that these people might need. First and foremost, and the most important one, is make IP a part of your business plans. IP is a very important component of business nowadays, and it is likely to become more important as the time goes by. So it is not enough if you act on intellectual property opportunities on an ad hoc basis. You should actually actively pursue intellectual property right protection. So what does it mean? It means try to actively obtain patents, look for opportunities, even though it is a small improvement that you have made, see whether you can obtain a patent for that. Or you can also register your designs. That means you can get a registered design so that others cannot copy it. To increase the value of the company, create trademarks and the terms that you use, and then register them as trademarks. And also protect your copyrights. That means if you have instruction manuals or any literature that you do or any artworks that you produce, see that they are registered as copyright. Next comes, choose a reliable IP partner. Why is this important? As we said earlier, these companies are people strapped, and so they need help in doing many of these IP related activities, which we already said is not their main focus, but it should be. But they are their main focus, and they are not skilled enough to do this by themselves. So they should choose a reliable IP partner. Survey, ask people, get opinions and choose one. Get recommendations from peers and other partners. Work closely with this chosen partner. What do you choose it based on? It is not enough if these companies are capable of drafting and applying for patents, trademarks and such, but they should be able to think on your behalf and advise you what to do with the IP and how to protect this. Now, take an overall view of IP. Do not focus on one type of IP. That means do not focus on patents. Many technical companies, technology-based companies are focused too much on patents. That might not be advisable. So try to get this partner that you have chosen to tell you what are the other IP forms that are important and what advantages it can give you. They look out for you and then do this, give you advice which is very important in the long run. Then make sure that you do not infringe unintentionally. To put it simply, avoid unintentional infringement of other people's patents. What does this mean? You might have developed a technology all on your own, but it has already been registered as a patent by somebody else. So without knowing, if you do this, you will probably end up and then probably might even have to close down the enterprise. So how do we do this? These companies, the partner that you have chosen can do a freedom to operate search or a risk assessment search and tell you that these are the technologies that are available, you should not use this. So this can be based on the product that your specifications that you have written down. Before, all this must be done before you launch a product. Also, similarly for trademarks, make sure that you unintentionally don't use a trademark that has already been registered or even an unregistered trademark which has been in long use. You can also keep an eye on patents of interest in your field. That means there are people who are publishing and applying for patents all over the world in technologies that are of interest to you. If you keep track of them, you will probably get two advantages. One is that you don't do unintended infringement and also get technical ideas. What do you mean by getting technical ideas? If a patent has been applied for and granted in a jurisdiction other than the company in which you operate, then that technology, if is not patented in your own jurisdiction, in your own country, you can make use of that technology legally, as long as you don't sell it back to the country where it has been registered. So the source of information and new ideas that you might get out of patent literature from all over the world is invaluable. You should make the best use of it. The company that you have chosen to partner with can set up alerts from various data banks of patents, so that whenever there is a patent which is published or granted in the area of your interest, it will come to you and you can take a look at them and see what you want to do with them. This is all about protecting yourself and not infringing and all that. Eventually, you will have your own IP rights. The most important part of securing IP rights is to make sure that nobody infringes on it. As you might know, these intellectual property rights are invariably negative rights. Not that it gives you a right to practice whatever you have invented, whatever you have registered. It gives you a right to stop others from infringing on your patent without your permission. So it is important, even if you want to take this eventually to court, it is important to show that you have taken enough interest in your IP, and then whenever there has been any infringement, you have taken action. So make sure, how do we do that? This you either technically, you yourself or your IP partner that you have chosen will be able to keep an eye on new products that are being launched, new technical literature that is being published and things like that, so that you have an idea as to whether somebody is trying to or has already infringed on your patent, for example. It might become necessary eventually to buy that product or analyze that product and then come to a conclusion as to whether your IP is infringed. So this must be done actively. So let's take a quick look at the points that we discussed as to what SMEs and startups should do. make IP a part of your operating or business plan. Choose an IP partner which will be able to stand by you throughout. Take an overall view of IP and not restrict yourself to only one type of IP. Avoid unintended infringement of other people's IP, and then keep an eye on patents and other literature in your field so that you can get ideas and benefit from them. And finally, look for IP infringement. That means people infringing your IP. If this is a very brief idea about what needs to be done, and as I said, if you choose a right partner, he or they will be able to help you to formulate this properly, guide you, and then keep you abreast of all that is happening in the IP field. I hope this has been of use, and thank you very much. It has been a great pleasure to talk to you about this.